Right, now we're going to deal with one of the real workhorses of databases, and that's queries. Because that's wonderful, because they can extract all sorts of information from you, which would take you ages to do if you had to do it by hand. Okay, first thing is they want you to have this query, which is already there, open it, it's existing in other words, and make the following changes. Okay, so before I get too carried away, okay, I'm just going to close anything else that's waiting around here. I'm going to close them all, in fact. I'm going to say, right, query change, I need to go in here, and I'm going to go to the design view. And let's see what's going on. There's various fields that have been chosen. We can add fields, and there's a little tick box to make them show or not. And I can choose ascending or descending or whatever I need and add criteria. I'm sure we can get asked that. Okay. Sort the records by province and then by name. Okay, basically Access works from left to right. So in this case it would sort it first by name and then by province, but we want it the other way around. So probably the easiest thing to do is just change them, make that one province and make that one name. Okay, always a good idea to actually check. It's actually click on the run button. Okay, so we'll see under the Eastern Cape, we've got Eastern Cape listed first, so it's first of all by province and then by name. And as we scroll through, we'll see the various records as we scroll through this whole thing. Okay, and then eventually we'll get the Free State, etc., alphabetically. So it has been sorted correctly, so I can get back into design view and ka-ching, I just scored some very easy marks there. Okay, it's raining marks. Done that. Exclude, do not show any dams in the province of Limpopo. Shame. Okay, anyway, Limpopo. Okay, Limpopo, they don't want any dams from Limpopo. Okay, always a good idea to just go and have a look at your data just to see how it's stored. So it's the full name. Okay, so right, so they haven't shortened it to LIM or anything like that. Okay, so the criteria would be, I don't want anything. I want everything, but not Limpopo. Okay, nothing personal Limpopo, but not equal to Limpopo. Okay, now you'll see it starts to add double quotes. Okay, it's the nice thing about Access, when it needs it, it adds it. You don't have to stress about it. So rather leave them out, it'll add them in for you. Okay, so province is not equal to Limpopo, and if you run it and you scroll through it, you'll see you will have no Limpopo. Okay, I'm not going to do that, but you can scroll through and have a look at that. So not equal to Limpopo, and it's always a good idea to sort of test after every question, because otherwise you do them all and then suddenly your query doesn't work and you're not sure which part isn't working. So we know that that's working and we're just cruising marks here. Only records that have a value for the town. Okay, right, there's two things to wait. Okay, so we're moving on to town. Okay, if I wanted to check that there was, if for records where there was nothing in it, then I would say is null. In other words, if I was looking for towns where there were blanks. Okay, towns where there were blanks. Okay, and if I ran it, okay, you would see those are the towns that are blanks, but they don't want that. They want all of those that have values. Okay, opposite of that is just to put a little star. Remember, the wildcard character means any character, so you don't care. And whoa, okay, it puts that like star thing in. You don't have to worry about it. You just put your static key star in, and it will sort it all out, lovely. Okay, right. Only record, that's perfect. Only dams completed this century, 2000 onwards must be shown. 2000 onwards. Okay, just remind me about that one, 2000 onwards. Okay, so here's the dates they completed. Okay, so those ones we wouldn't want because we'd only want 2000. So don't go and delete them. That's not what they're wanting. They just want you to do a query. So to get back to my design view. Okay, so I want it to be, okay, when did 2000 start? The 1st of January, hey? Just gonna have a look at the format of those things there. Okay, so it's like this. It's like a 1922 / okay, I'm just gonna copy it because I'm a little bit lazy here. Okay, we'll use it a bit later. Okay, so greater than or equal to. Okay, so what was the first day in 2000? Well, 1st of January, of course. So what I'm going to do here is just be a little bit sneaky, and I'm going to change that there quickly. 2000 to a 000 01 and 0. There's the 0. There's the 0. 01. Okay, and obviously I could expand that if I wanted to have it for just dams in 2001, I could say, and less than equal to 2012 months, 31, etc. Okay, so I can have ands and ors and things like that, but this one's quite straightforward. And again, urging myself, okay, so it's only dams from 2000 that have been picked up there. So you can see gradually as we add more criteria, the number of records becomes smaller and smaller. Okay, or potentially anyway. Water is to be released from these dams. Okay, they're lucky. We don't have much water here in the Eastern Cape at the moment. Add a calculated field called new capacity, which will show the capacity after each of these. Okay, long story. Okay, they want a new temporary calculated field called new capacity. Okay, so what you do is you go and make yourself a nice little column over there, and you say, right, that's the name of it, and I put a colon in, and I'm going to do something. Okay, but please don't limit yourself to having a narrow little column. Okay, there's plenty of space, just drag it wider so you can see what's going on. Okay, that new capacity colon just says, right, put a new column in, not into the table, just into the query. Put a little column called new capacity at the top, and the colon says, now, yeah, comes the calculation. Okay, I'm going to tick it so that, oops, there's it. I must still do my calculation, sorry, first before I do that. Yo, that's clicked me back there. And, okay, now I need to go and remember the question. Okay, so they're saying it's the capacity after they've let out the water. So they're going to take 10% out the dams. Okay. I'm just checking. We'll show the capacity of the dams. Okay, so we're letting 10% out the dam, and then obviously what's left. Okay, so there are two ways of doing it. The smart people will say, okay, well then there's 90% left, and work it out that way. I'm going to do it the long way around. Okay, there's no problem with doing the long way around, and say, right, I'm going to take the capacity. Okay, big spelling problem coming up here. Capacity. Okay, and remember it must be in square brackets because we're referring to the name of a field. So, not curly brackets, but square brackets. Okay, capacity. Okay, that's the original capacity. And how do I get it? I took out 10%, so I'm going to subtract 10% of it. Okay, there's no percentage signs in operators in Access, unfortunately. So, okay, and I know the maths people say, oh, but you could do it in a much easier way. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, agter ons kom ook in die kraal. The backward ox also comes into the kraal. Capacity, and close your square brackets. Okay, now I can probably tick, that's happy. Okay, right, so the way she's saying, right, take the old capacity and subtract 10% of the capacity. Now some people have just said, oh, I could have said 90 divided by, okay, bully for you, that's fine, but both work. Okay, and there's the new capacity. If for some reason you had to format that new field in any particular way, then you would just right click and go to properties and do whatever you need to do in that particular case. Okay, but in this case, not required, and there we go. It's a nice query because it's probably shows you pretty much a lot of the more difficult things. There wasn't an and, but we could have, for example, used it there. There wasn't an or, but I think it's quite a nice query to summarize a lot of the stuff you're going to do in queries. Okay, where are we now?